Hello there everybody. We're going to take a look now at some timetable information for my local route, the 244 service back in the day, running between Ipswich and Melton via Kesgrave, where I grew up. We're going to look at three timetables: 1969, 1977 and 1983. And to start with, we're going to look at something which is actually quite surprising by today's standards, and also very interesting that it didn't really change over the entire period. First of all, there's a photo, a Bristol low-decker on the 244 passing through my home village of Kesgrave, and that photo was taken in 1980. However, if we move to the timetable, if you look here, arrival into Ipswich, this is 1969. The earliest you could get to Ipswich was 07:15 in the morning. And you've got those codes across the top there, which we'll come to the codes a little bit later. But 7:15 in the morning is not particularly early, though I guess in 1969 there was probably no real need for it. You didn't have too many shift workers. Shops certainly didn't open. So I guess 1969 you can probably understand it. However, if we move to 1977, the same situation. The earliest you can get there is 07:11. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the same, with the second bus coming in at 07:47. And that's the 244 service again. It's my local route. It served all the housing areas between Melton and Ipswich. But again, 1977, you couldn't get into Ipswich before 7:10. It's not particularly early. But again, what did you have in 77? Were there shift workers? Shops didn't open particularly early, but people needed to make onward connections. You've got to get to work for 8:30. You've got to take another bus across town, and you've got the same problem. Now, if we look here, again, this is 1983, so we've moved on from 69 to 83, some 14 years, and again, you can only get to Ipswich for 07:10, and again it's the 244 that gets you there. So those first two buses across all of those years are pretty much unchanged, and I would have thought by the mid-80s there may have been a bigger need to have got into Ipswich a bit earlier than 7:10. But it is what it is. It's interesting, in my opinion, to see that over the 14-year period there, nothing really changed. Now, how would people cope with today's with timetables like this today? They cannot even read a bus timetable, a lot of people. And you've got all of these codes above various journeys. Via Gayfer Avenue in Martlesham, to or from the Market Hill, via Martlesham Camp, via Bell Lane Estate, via the camp and the estate. Arrives in Woodbridge earlier than what predicted. And you've got all these Mondays only, Mondays, Saturdays only, Tuesdays only, not Thursdays. And you can see across the board there are so many codes, individual journeys, and things have changed, of course, for the better in this day and age. Now, this is my local route, the 244. This 1983 timetable does include the 242 and the 243. They were local variations that just went a slightly different way to get to wherever they wanted to go. But pretty much, if you drop down to the bottom half where they depart Ipswich bus station, the old cattle market, and once things settle down after the morning peak, it's an hourly service throughout the day. 9:05, 10:05, 11:05, 12:05, and so on. And things drop off rapidly in the evening with the 18:05, and that's a Saturday-only service. And then you had a short working at 8:25 and last bus at 10:35. So back in those days, not too much happening in the evenings, and there wasn't much on a Sunday either. But that's how it was, I guess, back in the day. It was a good service. It was a busy service. It took in, if you can see this, where it starts at Melton Chapel. Woodbridge was busy. Peterhouse Crescent, that was an estate round there. Martlesham again, Eagle Way, that was the new village at Martlesham. Then you came through Kesgrave, the high school. Penzance Road was my local stop. And then into Ipswich. And those buses were busy. They were pretty much always busy. It was crew operated with low-deckers mainly up until 1981, simply because how busy it was. That was where the bulk of the crew work in the day was. Anyway, happy memories of happy days in much happier times all round. Hope you enjoyed this little video, something a little bit different from the normal. Might not be to everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly brings back memories for me. Thank you for watching.